Okay, now let's look at the second example. If you are given 2x plus 1 multiplied by x minus by 4 less than equivalent to 0. Okay, now again, you find the roots. So your numerator roots, you have 2. 2x plus 1 equivalent to 0. You will get x equivalent to negative 2. X minus by 4 equivalent to 0. Then you got x equivalent to 4. Then your denominator, you got 3 minus by x equivalent to 0. So x equivalent to 3. But again, you must remember, denominator cannot be equivalent to 0. So x cannot be equivalent to 3. Now, I've constructed the sign table already without the sign. But again, I leave on the bracket. So let's do this together. So now, because we have the equivalent sign on the question, which is you have less than equivalent. So basically, everything is closed bracket. But again, remember that denominator, you have to put it as open bracket. Now, let's look at the interval. So the interval here, you have negative infinity until negative half. So basically this one, negative infinity, always open bracket. Now negative half is at the numerator factor, which is 0. So you have close. And then this is going to be close. How about the 3? Now the 3 here, because it is at the denominator, so your denominator x cannot be equivalent to 3. So basically this one must be open bracket. So 3 is open. The 4 is going to be closed because it's at numerator, and this one closed, and infinity will be open. Okay, so settle with the bracket. Now let's look at the sign. How do we do the sign? Again, look one by one. Now, if you have a factor 2x plus 1, basically your zeros is negative half. So again, bring it down to your right. Okay, this one. What is going to be the sign to the right? Again, look at your x, this one. This one basically is a positive number. Since this is positive, to the right will be all positive. And behind it will be negative. Okay, now let's look at the second one. X minus by 4. Since x minus by 4, your roots or your zeros is 4. Now bring it down to the factor x minus by 4 and to the right. Now because your x here is positive again, so your to the right is positive. The rest is going to be negative. Okay. Alright, now the last one. Okay, the last one would be the 3 minus by x. So 3 minus by x, your zeros is 3. Now bring it down, okay. Now to your right. To your right. Now what is going to be the sign? Now if you look at this sign for the x, this is going to give you a negative sign. So to your right, you should have a negative sign. Now the rest behind it will be positive. Are you okay? Again, I show you, whenever you have, if let's say 3 minus by x, so your zeros is 3, you bring it down to your right, and then you look at your x is a negative, to the right will be negative. Behind it will be positive and positive. Okay, so basically you are done with the inner part. Now you have to do your resulting sign. So resulting sign, what is it? So resulting sign, you want it to multiply the column of your sign. So over here, negative multiplied by a negative number. So you're going to have would be positive. Or what I would do is that I count how many negative do we have. If we have a number of a negative, a resulting of a positive. So you have, let's look at the second column. If you have only odd number, which is negative, so which is here is 1, so you're gonna have a negative number. Okay, count again the third column. So you have 2 negative. 2 negative means that you're gonna have a positive number. Okay, and the last one, because this one you have only 1, so 1, so you're gonna have a negative number. So negative number. Are you okay so far? Alright, now how do we answer? Now because we want the answer to be less and equivalent, so you might want to have to take the negative parts. So negative part, you have 2 answer, which is negative half until 3 and 4 until infinity. So combine it together, you're going to have negative half until 3, which is close and open, union by the 4 until infinity. So that will be the final answer.